Homelessness in Maine is not just a Portland issue. In Lewiston and Auburn, the number of people service providers are helping has more than doubled.
And what makes the crisis worse is that shelter space in Lewiston and Auburn is extremely difficult to come by. So this leaves volunteers and nonprofit workers to carry most of the load, with the worst part of winter, as we know, is set to arrive here. News on Maine's Jack Mulbit spent the morning with one of those providers.
Dan Campbell's been helping unhoused people for so long, he knows everybody's coffee order.
You got it.
As well as the kind of cigarettes they like.
Okay, my friend, let's do it.
It's a busy life for you in the mornings.
Yeah.
First stop.
Going on 3 years.
Pat Crocker.
Really ain't got nobody to depend on.
Next up for Dan is just down the road.
How you doing, big guy? You think yours black, right?
Gloves and comfort.
This is what I do. I buy cigarettes, coffee, get them hotels.
And Dan would be the first to tell you that he was destined to help these people.
I got really, really sick.
At one point, dying of cancer.
Stuff disappeared on me and went into remission. The 2 cancers went into remission. I made a promise to God.
And his promise turned into action, helping those in need.
This community is no different than any other community in Maine that is becoming, it's mushrooming. And they weren't prepared for it.
And on our drive, we ran into Heather. Clothes she had to keep herself warm were stolen.
You want a warmer blanket? I can do that.
Yeah, please.
It's 20 degrees outside, and she's sleeping with a sheet.
Go, honey.
You need to go to the hospital?
No.
No, you're all set?
Yep. Somebody's taking her stuff, and she's left like that. And we have no place to put her. Shame on us.
More rounds and more.
I'll be back with propane.
One of our last stops is an encampment that the city of Lewiston says will sweep.
They're going to come in here with Public Works and the police and move everything out.
The people here say they were already given notice to leave.
Really overwhelming because we had just were running out of places to go.
Nick Case has been here just for 3 weeks.
The more out of sight, out of mind we are, the easier it is for them to kind of push us around.
That makes me angry and sad. And I don't know who to be angry and sad at.
But in a community where overnight shelter is hard to come by, it's people like Dan who still find success.
It was about a year and a half.
After such a long time being homeless, Marquis Wilson and Nick Gibbons are finally living in a home.
Like a week?
Yeah, not even a whole week yet.
It brings them hope for
a job. Now we can get a job because we're in a stable location, you know what I mean?
And Dan can walk away knowing, despite the odds, there are wins to celebrate amid this daunting work. In Lewiston and Auburn, Jack Mulbit, News Center, Maine.
We did reach out to both Lewiston and Auburn about how those cities plan to address homelessness there. Auburn's newly elected mayor, Jeffrey Harmon, telling us he's forming a committee to look at the issue and says he does plan to work with Lewiston's mayor.